Liam Lawson has 43 points this season. Refinish every race of 2026 in measured race pace order, and 43 becomes 10. There is an obvious way to dismiss a number like that. One driver, one model, one fluke. So we spent the break trying to break it, throwing out the circuits this kind of model cannot read, throwing out every thin sample, throwing out every estimate, until only the races that survive a stopwatch were left. Lawson's number got smaller. His lead over the entire grid got bigger. And then his rookie teammate turned up in the same place. Here is the ruler, and it is the same one every round. Take every green flag lap a driver runs with more than 2 seconds of clear track ahead of him. That is clean air. Take his median lap time in it. Reorder the finishing positions by that number, re-award the points, and you have what the afternoon was worth on pace alone. One rule, 11 rounds. No judgment calls about who deserved what. Silverstone is the cleanest example on the grid. Lawson finished 6th and banked 8 points. His median clean air lap measured across 43 of them, ranked 11th that afternoon. 11th scores nothing. Canada says it twice. 7th place. 58 clean laps. Pace ranked 13th. 2 races, 14 points, none of them in the pace. Do that for all 11 rounds, and Lawson finished ahead of his own pace ranking in 8 of them. Not 8 moments, 8 races, and the season ladder puts him alone at the end of it, minus 33 points, with Pierre Gasly next at minus 23, and Lawson's own teammate Arvid Lindblad third at minus 20. Turn the chart around, and the biggest number in the other direction is McLaren's Lando Norris at plus 29, which is where a normal video stops and calls it a finding. The problem is that every one of those numbers is a different amount of true, and 3 of them are about to fall over. So we tried to break our own chart 3 ways. First, estimates. McLaren's 53-point gap looked like the story of the entire model, until you see that 39 of it comes from 3 races their cars never started. Those were real technical failures, and restoring them is fair, but an estimate cannot be quoted as a measurement. Second, Monaco. You cannot overtake at Monaco, so pace and finishing position barely relate there. 15 of Gasly's 23 points are one afternoon in Monte Carlo. Take that race out, and he falls to minus 8. Third, and worst, thin samples. A car stuck in traffic only gets clean air in strange moments: fresh tires, low fuel, and offset stint. Take the median of 9 such laps, and a midfield car reads like a frontrunner. Nico Hülkenberg's plus 21 was Japan on 9 clean laps, and Monaco on 12. It never made it to a script, so no Monaco, no estimates, and a hard floor of 20 clean air laps before any race is allowed to speak. Run Lawson through that, and 6 races survive. China, 24 clean laps. Japan, 25. Canada, 58. Barcelona, 53. Silverstone, 43. Hungary, 55. In those 6, he scored 32 points. The pace in them earned 8. He loses 9 points off his gap, and he is still first on this grid by a mile. The next driver, George Russell, is at minus 12, half of Lawson's, in a car that leads races. And now, the part that stops this being a story about one lucky driver. Run the same 6 filters over Arvid Lindblad in his first season in the sport, and he finished ahead of his pace ranking in 10 of 11 races. 11 points scored, 1 earned. Put the 2 cars together on only the races that nobody can throw out, and Racing Bulls scored 43 points on a pace worth 9, minus 34. That is nearly double the next team on the grid, Alpine, at minus 18, and the shape of it matters more than the size. Every other big number in this model shrank when we tightened it. McLaren's 53 fell to 24. Gasly kept barely a third of his. Lawson kept 73%. It is the one large number here that barely flinched, because it was never resting on one weird afternoon in the first place. On the full model, across all 11 rounds, Racing Bulls have 66 points and a pace worth 13. 5th in the championship, 7th on the stopwatch. And here is the limit of all of it, on screen, because it is real. This model strips out mistakes and strategy and failures, and it strips out good racecraft with them. A driver who overtakes people loses those places too. Some of that 34 is Lawson simply being better on a Sunday than his car is. That is not luck. It is also not something a lap time can see, which is exactly why the next 3 weeks decide it. So here is the call, on record, like always. At Zandvoort, Racing Bulls outscore their own measured pace again. Specifically, at least one Racing Bulls car finishes ahead of where its clean air race pace ranks it, in the sprint or on Sunday. And for Lawson, that would be the 9th time in 12 races. It is a good test because Zandvoort cuts both ways. It is one of the hardest circuits in Formula One to pass on, which protects a car that starts well and buries one that does not. And Lawson's average starting slot this season is 10th and a half. 2 sessions, 2 chances, 1 number to beat. And the falsifier is just as clear. If both cars finish behind their pace ranking across that whole weekend, this pattern is finished, and we will put that chart up on screen too. 3 weeks of talking. 1 afternoon of evidence. We keep the receipts either way.